Hi everyone! So it's been a while since I've made a previous video, but today I felt inspired to do kind of a seasonal list that this one is going to be. Just chose 10 fragrances that I think that are a great fit for the autumn season. At least I really enjoy them, and this is basically my approach, or the only approach to this video that I took, that these are simply depending, or no matter if they are discontinued or if some of them are vintage or can be a bit hard to find, or what kind of perfumes they are in general, doesn't matter. I always I make my lists based on what I personally like to wear, and I don't do these just try to please you and kind of tell you what you should go out and buy. That is just something that I really think that it's I want to stay away from all that kind of stuff and avoid doing that. So the things that you will see here are fragrances that I feel that are a great fit for the autumn season. I really enjoy wearing them, and even though I try all the time, my best not to limit myself too much on wearing perfume, because I think that just having some fragrances, obviously some fragrances works better in the cold weather rather than when it's a really painfully hot or something like that. But I still try not to have fragrances that I don't wear more than 1 or 2 times a year, because it just feels weird to me having a bottle of perfume waiting for 8 months for me to be able to wear that again. So I try to get more and more rid of that kind of thinking, but I still do have a little bit of that inside me as well. So yeah, I have 10 fragrances in here. I will go through them randomly, and basically the first fragrance is in my eyes as good as the last one, so there's no difference in which order I go through them. But because I don't edit these videos, which I always keep on repeating, but I just want to say that because nowadays editing is probably a thing that people are looking for and want to see just short videos and such, but I'm not here to do that either. I just do these the way I feel, so the way I feel the best. So let's start from somewhere. I will start from this one, which is Christian Dior, and this is Ambre Nuit. I really don't think that this is, well, Ambre, a little bit, yes. I do find that slightly ambery, kind of very cozy quality to this perfume. Nothing Nuit in this, at least how it smells like or what it makes me think of. It's overall very kind of soft, cozy, just a little bit warm, done in a very elegant and classy fashion to me, because of the softness of the perfume, and it's very airy and light, what I really like about perfume. I don't want perfumes usually to be loud. That's not classy to me, or elegant. This to me is mostly about, it has a little bit of bergamot in the opening, just giving a little bit of uplift to the fragrance. There is everything about this perfume is soft. The rose in here, it's quite soft. Smells more like that it's a little bit more fresh type of a rose than anything else to me. The amberiness is just that it has a little bit of cozy vanillic kind of powdery, almost a little bit powdery quality to it. Overall, just very nice. I like to wear this in the autumn season. Basically, you can wear this kind of fragrance, in my opinion, almost throughout the whole year. So this is something that I still enjoy. Next fragrance is from État Libre d'Orange, and this is Tom of Finland. And this is the original version of it. This came out, I think that it was either 2007 or 2008. Anyway, the bottle is a little bit different than it looks nowadays. Nowadays it's actually even called clean suede, but it has gone through, I think, several reformulations. Unfortunately, I don't like the more recent versions of it. I absolutely love this one that has the black cap and I don't even know if the juice is changing color anymore. It used to do this after a while. I guess that because of the ambers and vanilla that has been used in here, or otherwise maybe there can be some kind of like colored stuff that they use in here, or who knows. But this is a very suede dominant perfume to me. It has a really nice smoother suede, a little bit of kind of lactonic type of velvety feel to it. It's there is a little bit of cleanness with the suede as well, although there is also just a part of it that it's kind of like cheeky and fun and just makes you think a little that what you are smelling. This old version doesn't turn into that kind of rubbery latex type of a smell. It just has also, because of the color, it also makes me think of some kind of heat, like heated suede and kind of chili or something like that, you know, hot paprika type of a thing that it smells like. It's really, really gorgeous stuff. It's very, also, it's not loud. That's what I like about this perfume, that it blends into, at least on my skin, really well and doesn't scream. So it's a really, really enjoyable perfume for me. Next fragrance is from Chanel, and this is Antaeus. This is just an all-time favorite for me. I think that I will never be without a bottle. No matter, this is a 2001 version, I think. I have a late 80s splash of this as well. I've had the pleasure to smell the new version as well. All of them are really great in my opinion. This is like a definition of a leathery chypre to me. This almost does also when I want to wear a leather. This serves the purpose for me, even though I think that technically there's not even leather in here. But it's probably the castoreum that just gives that leathery feel to it. Little bit animalic maybe, yes. Nothing challenging. It has a beautiful blend of citruses that are more in the kind of like dark side to me. It has a really nice soapiness to it. Very herbal as well. Feels quite strong, but at the same time, when you really wear it, it actually is very smooth, and it's not as strong as in my opinion people makes it sound like. So don't be scared of Antaeus. It's a really, really gorgeous stuff, and beautiful rose accord in here. I usually don't like rose too much, although in Ambre Nuit there's rose as well, but this definitely has a really great rose accord. Next fragrance is from Serge Lutens, and this is Fille and Aiguilles, something like that. Very hard to pronounce these kind of names. This to me is a very nice resinous, piney, kind of sticky, foresty type of perfume. It really makes me think of things that you can find in the forest, like trees, tree sap, even the like brown leaves of trees that have fallen down on the ground. It actually is a little bit sweet as well. It has that kind of honeyed, it doesn't smell like honey to me, but it has a little bit of honeyed, kind of gluey, sticky feel to it, because of the resins that has been used in here. It has a little bit of licorice type of kind of darker sweetness to me as well. This is one of those fragrances that it's maybe a little bit more on the kind of artistic side of perfume, but it's still very, very wearable and enjoyable, at least for me to wear. So Fille and Aiguilles is excuse me, is a great fragrance for especially for fall. People says that it's a perfect Christmas scent, but I actually think that it's much more than that. Next one is Devin by Aramis, and I love that it says here country eau de cologne natural spray, and there are even bottles that says country sporting cologne, I guess, and something like that. I just love the name. You cannot find anything like this in bottles of of these days. This is 110 mil, which is also something that you don't find these days. I don't know why they decided to do this as 110 mil. This bottle is from 1990, I guess, at least according to my knowledge. 1977 is the year when this was released. Absolutely lovely. Very also piney, kind of green, but instead of it smells like green, it actually smells brown to me. It just has those green elements, like all the bitter greens like Artemisia and Tarragon, that just has that sharp bite that kind of give you a green idea. But actually, you know, the overall smell of this is very brown to me, kind of like a slightly gloomy type of forest thing and countryside. Very mossy, leathery, quite dry in the dry down especially. Honestly, it's very cool stuff, very wearable as well. I find these kind of perfumes to be very, in their own way, they are very elegant and especially manly, and I at least really like that about perfume, even though I do like different kinds of fragrances, but I have my moments when I want to wear something like this, and Devin is great for that. Next fragrance is from Chanel again, and this is Sycomore Edp. Unfortunately, never had the pleasure of smelling the EDT, but I'm very happy with this. I love it. I've smelled different vetivers, all kinds of vetivers. I've had numerous bottles of vetivers. Vetiver is something that I always think that I enjoy, but actually I don't enjoy it as much as I always thought that I would. But Sycomore is my absolute favorite vetiver. It just has the correct type of a vetiver that I like. I want it to be crispy, I want it to be a little bit dry, I want it to have freshness as well. I don't like the rooty, or at least very kind of wet and grassy type of a vetiver. This is very dry, but there is also interestingly quite powdery feel to this, probably because Chanel is using a lot of their kind of light, airy florals, especially in these less exclusive bottles, so it has that little bit of powdery feel to it as well. Maybe at times it feels a little bit soapy as well, if that makes sense, that it can be kind of dry, powdery and soapy at the same time. But the soapiness is that I just get it sometimes, not every single time when I wear it. Again, I keep repeating myself, very classy and elegant stuff. As you can see, the trend, even though these fragrances are very different compared to each other, I like my perfumes to have a certain kind of elegant feel, and of course we can define elegance many different ways, but to me it usually is just that it's not too heavy, too strong, and I want that there is some kind of lightness to the fragrance as well. Next one is from Ermenegildo Zegna, and this is Javanese Patchouli. It is just phenomenally good patchouli perfume. Patchouli can smell like so many different things, but in here it's very overall the perfume, like in typical Zegna Italian style. It's very fresh, kind of those beautiful Italian, I don't know if they are Italian citruses, but at least that's the image that I get, that there is that I guess that it's kind of like a mix of something, maybe bergamot and orange, that has a little bit of mix of bitterness and just a tad of like fruity sweetness as well, citrusy sweetness. It's peppery, and the patchouli is also very fresh in here. It has more of that kind of slightly spicy, fresh, spicy, woody feel to it, rather than being anything that makes you think of like earthy qualities and earthy smells, or like old cellars or musty feel or anything like that. This has more of that kind of fresh, sparkling, even a little bit cold type of patchouli. Really love this stuff so much. Then this is from Dolce & Gabbana, and this is by Man. This is it's so good. It's really hard to categorize. Is this a fougere or is it some kind of like maybe woody musk? Maybe not that kind of stuff, but maybe it's a more of a fougere type of a perfume. Because it has that kind of lavender, maybe tonka bean. There is a little bit of nutmeg in here, actually quite a lot of nutmeg in here, that just has that powdery, fresh, almost shaving after, or the feeling that you might get after shaving your beard, for example. It doesn't have exactly like aftershave foam type of a smell, but it just has that foamy quality to it, that it's creamy and fresh and light. And there is a beautiful, some kind of like maybe raspberry, I think, lavender raspberry type of a mix in here that is just fresh and little bit in its own unique way. It's a little bit sweet with the nutmeg, and one of the best sandalwoods that I've smelled, or at least I can think of. It's kind of like a fresh fougere with some warm ambery fougere type of quality to it, if that makes any sense. It's really, really good stuff. Very likable and easy and enjoyable to wear. Then I chose a true gem of a perfume, which is Christian Lacroix, and this is Tumulte pour Homme. Very, very hard to find nowadays, discontinued, and like I said, very hard to find, but I think that it's even my favorite, like a really woody fragrance, if I can categorize it as a woody. Of course, basically every perfume has woodiness into it, but this to me is just to give you an example, what I think of a woody perfume is something like YSL M7, Gucci pour Homme, Comme des Garçons, Wonderwood, or Two Man, or something like that, that is just overall very, very woody. So Tumulte pour Homme is that to me. Probably even my top 5 favorite fragrance of all time, or from my collection at least. Nowadays, apparently it has 4 different kinds of cedar. I cannot tell the difference when I smell this, that what kind of, or that I would pick up all the different cedars in here. All I can say that the cedar is just overall absolutely perfect in here. There's a little bit of sandalwood as well, so it kind of like has that certain little bit of, from the woodiness, it has a little bit of that pencil shavings feel. It has a little bit of that creamy, milky, woodsy feel to it, and there is a really lovely juniper berries top that just gives freshness, bitterness, that kind of like a unique, not necessarily very fruity, but berries can give that kind of like a different kind of freshness to the fragrance than citruses does. I'm loving this to bits, and it's a great perfume for fall. And lastly, I chose Derby by Guerlain. This is I think that it was 2012 when they recreated it into this bottle. I recently even had a really nice spray bottle from late 80s of vintage Derby, but actually I enjoy this much more. I sold my vintage bottle of that because this just overall has less of everything, making it just enjoyable, more enjoyable for me to wear. I felt that the vintage was too much. This is basically like a leather, barbershop leather type of a fragrance to me, because it has also freshness. It has, I at least get a little bit of lavender. I do get that kind of maybe geranium type of slightly cooling vibe with this in the opening. But it is really leathery, carnation that just gives that kind of floral, spicy quality to this perfume. A little bit of oak moss maybe, but definitely not as much as in the older one. So overall, to me, this does feel more like a maybe fougere than a chypre than the old version reminded me of. So I find this to be much more enjoyable to wear, and I just love this as well. Also really nice rose note in here, but also the rose is a bit more toned down than in the vintage version of this. So those were my 10 choices. I could have chosen basically every perfume that I own nowadays. I just love autumn in every way, not just because of perfume, but I also want to wear different types of clothes like jeans and boots and leather jackets and such. And I always, you know, also think about those, what I will be wearing, what kind of clothes I will be wearing when I'm wearing a perfume. So I think that I also approached this list a little bit of from that side as well. But yeah, hopefully enjoyed. I at least think that this list is a little bit different than what you see normally or all the time in here. So hopefully at least you got a little bit of something different in here. But like I said, I do choose these perfumes based on what I like to wear and not just that I want to stand out or anything like that. So there you go. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Until next time, and thank you and bye bye.